Obama Domain. Bound by blood to the Tokugawa clan, we, the Sakai, have always fought for the Shogun. Although we have tried to prevent conflict, our hand has been forced by the imperialists' extreme methods. For the good of Japan, they must be stopped. Our first priority should be to subdue nearby threats before they are reinforced, as the Shogun's enemies will soon close in from the west, and we cannot afford to be surrounded. We must then join our allies to protect Kyoto and prevent Imperial forces from sweeping eastwards towards Edo. Should these key cities fall to the enemy, the battle will be all but over. But the people of Obama will not falter. Japan's best interests will be defended. For the Shogun! Sendai Domain. Our heritage is rich, descendants of the mighty Date clan during the Sengoku Jidai. Although we have tried to maintain order, the imperialists view our respect for the shogunate as proof that we mean to wage war upon them. So be it then. We will give them war. Our first priority should be to rally support for the shogun in the north. Once it is secured, we should join our allies to the southwest, whilst ensuring the safety of Kyoto and Edo. Should these seats of power fall into imperialist hands, the battle will be all but over. When the combined forces of the emperor move against the shogun, they will find the people of Sendai standing resolute before them. For the shogun! Jozai Domain. Our clan, the Hayashi, was honored greatly when the shogunate granted us these lands, and we have served with honor ever since. Imperial forces now conspire to oust the shogun from power, and we must protect our lord from those who lack his wisdom. The shogunate and all it represents must be protected for the good of Japan. Our first priority should be to establish ties with other loyal domains. The shogun's enemies must be stopped before they seize Edo. Conquering their provinces will protect the shogunate in the short term. The imperialists may also invade by sea, making our position vital to the defense of Edo. If we are to prevent them gaining the upper hand, we must ensure that they do not seize Kyoto. When war finally comes, the people of Jozai will be counted among the brave defenders of Japan, fighting in the face of adversity. For the shogun! Aizu Domain. Loyal to the Tokugawa shogunate for centuries, our family was granted these lands and the clan name of Matsudaira in honor of our service. Now, the shogun is under threat from those who seek to put power into the emperor's hands. This cannot be allowed to happen. Our first priority should be to strengthen relations with those still loyal to the shogun. His seat of power in Edo is close, but there are many lords in neighboring domains who do not share his vision. These seditious elements must be eliminated, their lands taken for the good of our own domain. Finally, if we are to prevent our misguided foes from taking power, Edo and Kyoto must not fall into imperial hands. When full-scale war between shogunate and imperial forces finally comes, the people of Aizu will be there, defending Japan's best interests in the face of adversity. For the shogun! Nagaoka Domain. The Makino family once served as retainers to the Tokugawa when they ruled Mikawa province. Now, as masters of our own domain, our loyalty to the Tokugawa Shogunate is as strong as ever. We have learned of the movement to overthrow them, and we will do everything in our power to prevent such a disaster. Our first priority should be to neutralize the threat of imperialist attacks from the west. By moving westward and subjugating enemy domains, not only do we protect the shogun's interests, but we bring our troops closer to Kyoto. The ancient city cannot be allowed to fall into imperial hands any more than we can allow the shogun's seat in Edo to fall. When war comes, we, the people of Nagaoka, will be ready. We will defend Japan's interests in the face of adversity. For the shogun! Satsuma domain. Our family, the Shimizu, has ruled these lands since the time of the first Minamoto shogun, ever loyal to Japan and her people. But the Tokugawa and their lackeys have failed us, allowing themselves to be manipulated by Western powers. For the good of all, power must be returned to the emperor. Our first priority should be to ally with domains who share our beliefs. There is little support for the shogunate here in Kyushu, but opposition is inevitable, and resistance must be met with force. Once the situation on Kyushu is under control, we must support our allies on the mainland. Imperial control of Kyoto and Edo will be vital if we are to break the shogun's wicked grip on the land. When full-scale war finally erupts between Imperial and Shogunate forces, the people of Satsuma will be at the vanguard, leading Japan into a bright and glorious future. Long live the Emperor! Tosa domain. Following the Battle of Sekigahara, the Chosokabe clan was stripped of power and Tosa was entrusted to our family, the Yamauchi. Disheartened by the shogun's failure to keep the Westerners at bay, we have sought to bridge the divide between the shogunate and the emperor. And now, for the good of Japan, power must be returned to the emperor. Our first priority should be to consolidate our position here on Shikoku. Our lands are bordered by friend and foe alike, and we must ensure that pro-shogunate forces do not gain a foothold. Once the situation on Shikoku is under control, we must support our allies on the mainland. Imperial control of Kyoto and Edo will be vital if we are to break the shogun's grip on Japan. When full-scale war finally erupts between Imperial and Shogunate forces, the people of Tosa will be at the forefront, leading Japan into a bright and glorious future. Long live the Emperor! Choshu domain. Descended from the once great Mori clan, our family has suffered under the Tokugawa shogunate for our opposition during the Sengoku Jidai. Now, the very same shogunate has been manipulated by Western powers. For the good of all Japan, we must ensure that power is restored to the emperor. Our first priority should be to strengthen ties with domains who share our view. We can expect support from the imperialist domains to the west, but here on the mainland, we will face strong opposition from shogunate loyalists. Imperialist control of Kyoto and Edo is vital if we are to wrest power from the shogunate. And so we should march eastward, crushing all who stand in our way. When full-scale war finally erupts between Imperial and Shogunate forces, the people of Kyushu will be at the vanguard, leading Japan into a bright and glorious future. Long live the Emperor! Tsu domain. The Todo clan has always chosen its allies wisely. At the Battle of Sekigahara, we threw in our lot with Tokugawa Ieyasu, the inevitable victor, and were rewarded with these lands at the heart of Honshu. It is time to join the winning side once more. The Shogunate is weak and support for Imperial rule grows stronger by the day. The Emperor has our support then, but we must tread cautiously. We are surrounded by the Shogun's allies and would be foolish to wage war until we are stronger or have the support of others. We must then wrest control of Kyoto and Edo from the Shogunate to weaken their grip. When full-scale war finally erupts between Imperial and Shogunate forces, the people of Tsu will be at the vanguard, leading Japan into a bright and glorious future. Long live the Emperor! Saga domain. Our clan, the Nabeshima, have long served as guardians of Nagasaki, Japan's only point of contact with Westerners during its seclusion. As such, we have come to understand much of Western technology and way of life. We will use this understanding to depose the Shogun and reinstate the Emperor for the good of Japan. Our first priority should be to establish ties with other Imperial loyalists on Kyushu, whilst crushing those who still support the Shogunate. It is imperative that we then establish a navy, allowing us to support our allies on the mainland in their fight against the Shogunate. Kyoto and Edo must be brought under Imperial control. When full-scale war finally erupts between Imperial and Shogunate forces, the people of Saga will be at the vanguard, leading Japan into a bright and glorious future. Long live the Emperor!